So we're back, and we have another guest joining us. This is Wylma, and she is a breast cancer survivor. We're going to go ahead and get into it here. We have a couple questions to ask her, and we're going to also let her tell her story and, just get a little inspiration, some education,
So when were you diagnosed, and at what age?
I was diagnosed in 2015, and I was 44 at the time.
And what stage were you diagnosed with?
Stage 3A.
So they have A's now?
I was going to say, so what is...
It was stage 3A, which it's a A, B, and C in each stage, and I was stage 3A. From the size, because it was, I believe, the size of it and where it was located, and I had it in my lymph nodes at that time.
See, that's something new.
Yes,
That's
now
what I
we
was
know.
saying. That's something new. They didn't even have the A. I guess there's what, an A, B, C, something like that. They didn't have
So
that.
then it's
But
like
my
the
sister,
stage now, and then kind of like...
a level of that stage, A, B, C, or something
How
like
much
that.
it has gone from one area to the next.
Okay.
Okay.
That's definitely...
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was maybe 5 centimeters. I felt the lump.
So
in
you
my
could
breast.
feel it?
I could feel it.
So how did you, so how was it detected? Did you go in because you...
Well, I did my breast exams each month
Okay.
when I took a shower. I felt it in December, but it was smaller and it was hurting me. So I figured it was like a blocked duct, and I went to primary care. She just said, well, it's probably just a blocked duct and they don't cause pain. And I thought, well, could it be cancer? She was like, no, cancer doesn't hurt. So this was in January. So when I went back for a follow-up in March, it was bigger and it was hurting. So she prescribed me ibuprofen and just kept saying it's not cancerous because cancer doesn't hurt. It's probably just a blocked duct. So I said, well, I hope I don't have to come back and it's cancer or I die. So she just went on to schedule a biopsy. This is by this time, the end of March, and did a biopsy. I did the biopsy on April 8th is when I found out it was cancer all that time. So 3 months had passed, and by this time it's April. And
Did you have to go to the same doctor to get that biopsy?
I had a job at the time, and I went to Kaiser Permanente, and they did it. Unfortunately, April 15th, I lost my job, so it was either Medicaid or get on Cobra. I couldn't afford the $1,200.
Cobra is expensive.
So expensive.
And so I just got on Medicaid and went to Grady and started my treatment with Grady April 21st.
Wow. Did you ever see that original doctor again, though?
I didn't see a need to talk to her. By this time, the trauma was setting in really fast. Of course, the doctor that did the biopsy was saying, "Oh, well, you're not going to die right now. It's not that bad." Even it was like, "Okay, we can treat it, get you in a plan." But no, I didn't see her because, like I said, I lost my job. I didn't have to go back to her. I had to, in my mind, start worrying about my kids, planning for my future, figuring out what I was going to do, how this was going to, play out.
Right.
I guess we could rewind a little bit. Tell us a little bit about your story. Like you had kids, and tell us a little bit about yourself. So.
Single mother of 4. At the time, they were all teenagers. Malik and Anthony were 19 and 18. The girls were 15 and 16. So they were just normal teenagers. We were just working. At that time, I had 2 jobs, working from home. I worked from 8 to 3 and 4 to 1, trying to save. At that year, I had planned, because I had just got my credit right, to buy a house. So by the end of the year, I would have bought a house. And I had no idea I was going to be sick. I had the pain, but I thought it was just like she said, it was just a blocked duct. So I was like, okay, it's not a big deal. I had started on my 401k, so everything was fine. Unfortunately, I had just told my supervisor the day I got the news that I was sick, had got breast cancer. Within a week, they had said they was letting me go.
Wow.
I didn't get a chance to process that because I was still, the biggest thing, in the processing of, okay, everything I hear from cancer is not good.
Yeah.
And of course, at that year, it seemed like celebrities were just dying out of the sky from cancer. So I had to try and figure out what I was going to do with my kids, try to make sure they had a plan B in the event that I get sick or can't take care of them. I wasn't expecting to lose a job. I kept my part-time job about 2 more months. And all they kept, even when I went to Grady, it was like, you're going to be fine. You're healthy. I'm healthy. I only went to the doctor once a year to get my checkup. I was never sick. Good pregnancies, breastfed,
Never
just
had
healthy.
any issues,
No issues, not sick at all. So everything of planning with my kids had changed. I was trying to stay so they could finish high school and focus on making sure they finish their education and do what they need to do. I don't know, things fell apart. The first week I got my chemo was May 21st, and I was so sick. It was awful. The pain that goes through your body is unheard of. I had 4 babies, and I didn't feel that
with any of them.
But I had pain from head to toe. I had to walk. I couldn't walk. It was so excruciating dealing with that chemo. It was hard. And the 3 days of just full body pain, the medicine didn't help. I was nauseated, so I was in so much pain I didn't want to move to go to the bathroom. So my youngest daughter would sleep with me because I would wait to the last moment so she could help me to the bathroom. It was hard for my kids. It was hard for them to see me. I lost my hair immediately within 3 days after the first chemo. I lost all my hair. That was traumatic for me. It was hard for me. I cried every day because I couldn't, for the life of me, figure out why this was happening. I thought of my grandkids. They're far, far away. My kids are selfish, but I still thought of my grandkids. I wanted to be here for them. I'm going to be here for them. That was my next phase of, I look forward to being here for my grandkids. And I couldn't, each day was hard. I didn't want to go back to treatment. I kept asking, is there any way we could do something different? Because the chemo was awful.
Yeah, that's enough.
It was awful. Every day was awful, and I kept saying it's awful. The second round of chemo was worse because it immediately sent my blood pressure up really high, and it was up the whole time. It tore my veins apart because every time I had to go in to get my IV, get my blood, they had to re-stick and it was devastating. It was hard for my kids to watch.
And they're at an age where they know what's going on, so yeah, I'm sure that wasn't.
I lost my job, but my jobs were working in customer service, so I had to listen to someone complain that they don't have a channel or they want to misuse their medical plan for, it's like they want to misuse it and they don't have a receipt and they want to get credit. And all I can think of is I have cancer, I'm finna die, and I don't
care about what you got.
You're like on 3 levels of anger, and I'm sitting here I'm so sorry that you're dealing with that. I want to try to help you, and tears rolling down my eyes. I tried to, hold it together.
And that's why people need to be nice to people they're on the phone with. You don't know what people are going through.
It was hard. I was trying to work, and I was in so much pain. I couldn't take call off, but they finally let me go. Luckily I used my savings because I was saving for a house, so I paid that. I couldn't get anyone to help me with my rent. It was painful. I cashed in my 401k. That bought me time, another month. By the time I had to call, we went to be evicted. I called, that's when I Will Survive. And it was October when I found her. By that time it was too late. They offered to pay the lady, but she still wanted me to leave.
What?
And they offered to pay.
Wow.
But
People have
no heart.
None.
But
Was she aware that
she knew I was sick?
She knew your
She
situation?
knew I had lost my job. My rent was paid, but when they got behind, they was like, no, we don't know where it's going to come from next month. A lot of battles. I didn't have the energy to fight because I knew I was fighting for my life. And I wanted to be here for as long as I could with my kids and still trying to encourage them that you're going to be okay.
Right.
And you know what you need to do and making sure they're going to look out for each other. But unfortunately, October, when we became homeless, October 15th, I had to realize, okay, you do have cancer. You are homeless. You're going to have to let it go. Our stuff was put in storage. We went into homeless shelters. I still was trying to figure out what was going on with the treatment. I knew when on my birthday, November 10th, is when they didn't tell me they was doing a biopsy. It was like, they escorted me to the room and she was like, well, we need to do our biopsy. And I was like, why? And they said after they did the second mammogram, it was larger and it had covered the entire breast. When it was only a few centimeters when we started, it now had gotten bigger. So they did the second biopsy. By that time, I just wanted to quit. And I was done because I was like, I trusted you.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem like you knew what you were doing, and it doesn't seem like the chemo worked. And I trusted you said it, even after all my pain and all the medicine and all the stuff I went through taking the medicine, it didn't work. So this was October, and I just kind of went AWOL for 2 months trying to figure out. I couldn't work because I was by this time very sick, in pain, walking every step of the way. It was in my entire body, neuropathy. I was awful. It was awful. So we just managed. My boys had to stay with a teacher so they could finish that year high school.
God bless that teacher.
They ended up moving with other friends so they could finish the second year. Walik graduated. Anthony had one more year. And me and the girl stayed, into the shelter until we could move into a place. All this time I did apply for Social Security. Fortunately, I started Social Security in May because I knew it would take a long time. I asked the social worker, but they just said that I wasn't a candidate because I wasn't as bad as some of their other patients. I kept getting pushed back on a lot of help because I was a healthy adult female. And my nails and my neuropathy was not as bad as what they felt would qualify. But it was bad to me because I was a 100% healthy person, and now I'm 30% functional, and I can't function without being in pain 24/7. I need help. My daughters had to help me. I couldn't carry stuff over 5 pounds. It was a lot. I decided to go to Emory. Actually, the school social worker referred me to doctor to do the surgery, and she came with a high recommendation saying she's a black woman, a lot of people love her, and that she would do it. When I walked into her office, I told her I wanted her to do my surgery or at least do a second opinion. I wanted a second opinion. They didn't do a second opinion. They just went with what the first doctor recommended because she was like, oh, well, I'm friends with her and I know her. I would have liked the second opinion. I wouldn't have mind doing a second biopsy, a third biopsy. But because she said, no, you have to do the surgery, it's required and we reread your first biopsy. We went with that. And I even mentioned to her, I thought maybe it was TB, but she was like, no, you probably just need to see a psychiatrist because a lot of times women are in denial.
I was gonna say, then they tried to say you were in denial.
I'm in denial. But I was like, even after all these months, I'm no longer in denial. I just know something else is not right to me. I'm not a doctor, but I do know I shouldn't have had a second biopsy because based on the treatment plan. So I went on and did the surgery, and because, like she said, you don't want to not cut it out because you could die. and I still think of my kids. They're 100% in my mind every day. So I don't want to make that one decision of not cutting it out, and
it affecting them.
and I die sooner. So I just we'll go through the surgery. I immediately was back in the hospital 2 days after the surgery. My body seemed like it was dying. I was smelling decay. All of this was infected. I was swollen. It was the worst pain. My daughters, I couldn't move. I couldn't have nothing touch this side, but I smelled like death. If you've ever, I had the privilege of smelling the person that was dying, and that's what I was doing. And it was hard for me to be in a body that's dying. And when it went back, I went back, she was like, oh, well, we just need to take, my tubes were infected and it got all up in there. And she was like, we're finna go in and cut more out. I was devastated. And even when I went back, she was poking and prodding, saying it was infected. Oh, stop being sensitive. That's what the doctor said. I was crying. I walked out of the office crying.
Stop being sensitive.
And I had to, and she was like, you're going to have to come back on Monday, because they weren't doing surgeries on Thursday, to get that taken out. It took all the weekend. We had to pray. At the time, my mom was in my life. She came. I prayed. And that's my only saving grace. I have to go into a quiet place and pray and say, God, I'm going to have to trust you, but I need you to be over these doctors. Because I shouldn't be dealing with this. And
I know
back
my body.
into surgery. And I know something else is wrong. Monday came, but the swelling went down. I didn't have to have surgery. So she just walked in and looked at me and was like, well, you don't need surgery. And I was like, well, thank God. Please, Missa needs to get me out of here really fast. So I followed up with them a couple more times, but my heart was broken from that experience with the doctor.
I can only imagine.
And my trust had been scarred. So I didn't.
Putting my life in your hands, literally.
So I didn't
have the knowledge, like the education. This is your job.
But I didn't feel like they wanted to take it on. Even when I did my surgery, she was like, "Oh, well, you have Medicaid." So I believe.
Do you think that
because
played,
I had Medicaid?
like if you would have had your original insurance, do you think things would have went differently?
I didn't have the coverage, and they probably didn't have the. They weren't going to get paid what they would get paid if I had Kaiser Permanente or Blue Cross Blue Shield. That's just my opinion, but she did say that when she rushed. She didn't even when she came in after surgery, and I was up, and I was like, I don't feel well. Something is wrong. She was, and I was like, did you get it all? She was like, yeah, we did. Because I felt like
I feel like it's still there.
I'm feeling the same pain, but she was like, no, it's probably but you have Medicaid, so.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, she walked
even
back
say
out.
that, to a patient. Why are we talking about what insurance I have?
It just,
it's my life we're talking about.
The whole experience, like I said, it was. I would have liked to kept my job and kept my insurance because I had that.
And that's
or when I got sick. But it was unfortunate that I trusted my supervisor, and I guess I don't know. Like I said. Hindsight, you can't know what happened or why. It could have been worse. It could have been better. I don't know. But I just know I thought of my kids every single day. I've raised them all their lives. They've been with me all their lives. They've seen me struggle. They've seen us fight, me trying to work. Like I said, I had 2 jobs just to maintain, to give us a good life. We were supposed to buy a home. I'm still having that dream of buying a home. And being so close and it taken away, that was devastating. And then we're dispersed.
Now we're not together.
Now we're not together. So, I don't know.
Story.
That is.
What to say, but
and I think the unfortunate part about it is that it comes down to what insurance you have. It comes down to even the things that I talk about, where these doctors, they don't care about the aftercare. They don't care, like trying to get the word out there to tell them that I have a store to offer the type of products for patients. They don't care about that.
So did you have family history of breast cancer at all?
My older sister had breast cancer about 4 years before I did.
Okay.
She got the second, she had it twice. So she had the second one a year before I got diagnosed.
Wow.
But she and I are the only two that has a history of breast cancer in our family.
Okay.
I was tested, but it's not in my DNA.
You had the
I
BRCA?
had the BRCA,
BRCA test?
and everything was
She was talking
negative,
about
so
that.
nothing came back. It's just
1 in a million chance.
Wow.
Did you find any support groups, or while you were going through it, did you have a lot of people to talk to? I know you said you did, but how did you find them?
I didn't have any support groups. My main focus was trying to figure out how to take care of my kids, work, or I didn't feel personally. I didn't feel like I was in a good place to talk to anybody.
Right.
Because I was so angry.
Yeah.
And so upset, and I try my best to not talk when I have so much negative.
Yeah.
I did, like I said, when Miss Anissa came, she was a person I could talk to for whatever was going on. But like I said, my kids were acting out, and it was so many other issues that I couldn't even just sit and talk about my cancer, because we were homeless. My kids were all over the place. We were trying to figure out where we were going to live, how I was going to take care of them, how I was going to get back. So I could never sit back and focus on myself because my 4 kids needed me for whatever was going on. So no, I didn't have like a group that I did. I tried my first function I think I went to, but that was October 2015. And it was a function that they celebrated someone who had died from cancer 8 years ago. So of course it was still difficult for me to sit there and celebrate myself when someone had died, which that was their thing. You know, we want to celebrate her life for 8 years, but it's hard for me to process it being in the boat.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And not be and not
You're not yet removed.
not
yet,
removed
right?
from it to talk about it. So I was appreciative to go to that, and I, like I said, I just know I was homeless and cancer, and we're someone who's died. So that to me it was, I'm trying to feel myself that I'm gonna live, I'm gonna live through all of what I was going through. So I didn't put myself in that situation.
Okay, got it.
So I guess we can go more so into the post-treatment era.
I broke up with the doctor. So April, after my radiation, I got burned really bad. That year we was with Little Pink Houses. They send breast cancer survivors. Let me go back. January after I had my surgery, all the swelling, they couldn't help me with the sleeve and the swelling, and I went on my own. I did a lot of research on my own, which may tend to perturb people because I automatically like knowledge.
Yes.
So I just figure out, hey, I need a sleeve. Why didn't y'all offer me? I didn't even know it was offered.
Right.
When I looked for the sleeve, I saw Little Pink Houses of, hey, if you sign up so you and your family can go on a 1-week vacation, we send families away for 1 week. Wow. I signed up for that and got that. When even trying to get that, still ain't got my sleeve.
So you're like, I need a sleeve too. I want this vacation and a sleeve.
So they just asked me questions, and I put my kids in. I was like, yeah, we all 4 of us going, and we did go.
Really?
It was April that year, 2016.
Nice.
So
That is very nice.
after I got burned with my radiation, and I was done with both doctors. Okay, I'm done. Y'all done enough for me, and I'm not coming back. But you're like, we need to see you in 6 months. Well, you will see someone, but it won't be me.
It will not be me.
And I started figuring out, okay, God, what can I do to heal myself? I think if I remove myself from the doctors, I've done enough. I'm done. I'm tired, and my body's broken, and I can't keep living like this. I want to start figuring out where I'm gonna get to. We went on a vacation, just me and 3 of my kids. It was a nice 1-week vacation. When I came back, I said I'm gonna figure out where to work. I started working like as a dispatcher, working from home. My girls were still acting out. My boys were still acting out. Well, one of my boys, my oldest son, was not, but they were just still trying to grow up because now we're not together and
we're still growing.
They're too soon into the world and trying to figure out life.
Wow.
So I didn't know what to say, I guess, with them, but I do know I started, I'm big on apple cider vinegar. I'm big on herbs. I'm big on smoothies. I'm big on doing anything that I can chew. I did that anyway. So that's why I was confused on how I'm sick. Because I eat
like
I couldn't understand. I cook at home and I know what I put in my food. And I was on turmeric and all the seasoning, rosemary.
You were doing everything.
That's why I was confused and upset with God. Because I'm like, somewhere you missed me with these herbs or something. But after I decided to break up with the doctors and try to get my body back, I just started figuring out what I was going to do with my kids. I know I had to stay with my girls until they got out of high school, and we struggling on get a place. We get a place and we didn't keep a place. It was just too much. My personal health, I focused on what I could do. I still went to the doctor, my primary care, but they still did all the tests. The swelling, they gave me stockings for my swelling. Eventually I got stockings for my swelling. They gave me medicines. I'm on 2 different type of high blood pressure medicine. One to control the swelling and reduce the water, and one to help my veins, so because they swell up. Whatever, if I move too fast, my body swells, and something restricts inside. So I don't know, it's something that happened with the chemo and the radiation, and probably with like I said, the chemo damaged everything. So now it's my body, it can't go too fast. So I now know my limits. I try to work around it. I don't know if it was me doing the apple cider vinegar or the herbs that kind of helped me. I started feeling better, but I do know I went back to my primary care so I could get the treatment for the TB. That has helped a lot. I have chest pain, so
I think just to kind of pause, because I don't know if we talked about you having TB. So when were you? I know we talked about it off camera. When were you diagnosed with TB?
2015, when I was in the shelter, I knew I had TB. Okay. She did the blood test and knew it was TB. And she, at that time, 2015, explained to me that the TB can be in my system, like breast cancer, and shows up like that. And the doctors would have to do a biopsy, but they did not.
And that's why you wanted the second opinion.
The second opinion, because I knew that's when I was told it was TB, and it can be show up like cancer in the lymph nodes, because it was in my lymph nodes and inside my breast ducts, and that's what she said how it could show up. But unfortunately, I didn't finish the treatment with them because, like I said, we was displaced. I was homeless, and I couldn't focus. It was too many fires to get put out. Right. Trying to focus on myself, a lot was going on. So that's what happened. So it wasn't until this year I was able to go back to my primary care again, and we went over the story again, and they went over the notes. Oh, we see that you did do this, and this is what you said at that time, and this is what happened at that time, and we're going to refer you back to get your treatment. So, and that's where we are. So I did my TB test this year for 3 months. All it is just a protector. I can't, I shouldn't be able to get TB or like be sick in the hospital like most people. But it's still, my body's damaged now, so I can't undo the damage. But I can live my life the way it is. So I do still try to take my blood pressure medicines, because I know if I don't, it'll just go. My body, it gets worse. My constriction gets worse. It doesn't clear up with nothing. I take my pain medicine every day. That helps me move, but I'm in pain all day, every day. It's not as bad, but it does get bad some days, and I know I just take my pain medicine so that I can get up and go,
it's fun.
and I get up and manage. I decided when I broke up with the doctors that I wanted people to see me, because for a year or 2 years they saw cancer, and I want people to see Wylma. I want people to know Wylma, and who she is. And when you talk to me, or when you talk, you know me. So that's not the first thing I want to say out my mouth, because you want it out. I don't want to that empathy or feeling sorry for me. I just want you to get to know me, and that's always been the person that I am. So I still focus on my kids. They, like I said, they've gone off now.
They're probably grown.
Send my girls off to Job Corps, because like I say, we're still displaced and still homeless. Last year this time, my birthday, we had an apartment. I sat down with Miss Anissa, because every year on my birthday, I don't make plans, but I say what I plan on doing that I didn't do. I was going to learn a language, buy a house, and probably travel. Just something simple. So, of course, Miss Anissa, I got an email, you can buy a house. I called the number, got pre-approved for a house. I was so excited. $90,000 for a house. Went through 5 realtors, didn't work out. I pawned my electronics for the down payment, didn't get my electronics. We were gonna get the house, had a nice house in Ben Hill, but we found the house January. He kept stalling. January, February, March 6th, when I finally got my inspection. Mind you, I had to come up with the money for the inspection, which was $450 for the appraisal. And I'm sorry, the inspection was $300 and the appraisal was $450. When we got the inspection, nothing was ready. The house was not livable. I was livid. By this time, I was upset with the realtor, because I felt like she should have known. I was because I'm like, I don't pawn all my electronics.
I'm giving you everything I got.
I know this is gonna happen.
This should have closed out. My lease ended February 28th, because I had extended it 1 more month, because it was going to be over in December. But I just paid them month to month, and that was expensive, so I had to come over $1,200 each month. And I was like, I can't keep paying that. And so everything fell apart, and it started falling apart really fast, because I didn't have enough money to carry everything. So I moved out of the apartment, put my stuff in storage. By this time, me and my girls staying, trying to get them to the end of the school year. Job Corps didn't come up to like 2 weeks before they went to Job Corps, because I was like, okay, y'all need to go somewhere, because I can't do this. I can't. I'm stressing myself, and I'm gonna put myself back to being sick, and I didn't want to do that. I had 2 puppies. I lost them in boarding.
Oh my goodness.
That was JB and Duke. So just this year, I'm at a different place, because after you fight this cancer person, because it was a whole person that I felt like I was fighting, and I was on a time limit to get my life together and get my kids together, I realized everything else is not even worth fighting, or I'm not going to put my energy in. I'm just not. So I choose what I want to put my energy in. If I walk away, that means I'm not interested in putting my energy there, because I know my energy is 30 to 40%. I would say 50, because 10% for each child and the other 10% for me, and nobody else gets nothing else. I worked as hard as I could to try and save it. I was a little upset the house fell apart. I was trying to maintain my credit, pay bills, take care of kids, and the money, there was no meeting. I was just paying somebody here just to stop this person this month, paying this person here, and it's still that way. I'm just paying this person just to keep them quiet. Somebody else, another squeaky wheel comes up, I just go pour it out.
Walk them off. Knocking them down.
That's all I can do. All right, so post-surgery, did you struggle with any issues affecting your sexuality, like we were talking about a little bit earlier, where some women feel like it defines them, and so it's just kind of like, absolutely not, like I do not want you to remove my breasts, or like when you lost your hair, like how did that affect your sexuality, and did you find it, and are you finding it difficult to be intimate anytime in between?
Well, when I lost my hair, I was amazed at how beautiful my head was. So I and I see how beautiful I am anyway, because I always say, oh, you're so beautiful. You know, I just thought, so when I saw my hair, I didn't even want to get a wig or a hat. I covered my head when I was cold, but immediately I got so many compliments as if it was something intentional that I had done.
Yeah.
But I don't define my sexuality or on my body. I'm more of a spiritual person, so I know what I have to offer without my body. But like I said, the day of surgery, before the surgery, I took a picture of my breast. I didn't feel like I was going to lose anything. I felt like I was going to be different. But for the first thing, all I could say is I wasn't in a relationship. If I met someone, I knew that conversation would come up to let them know I was a survivor. But I still feel when I saw myself after surgery, I had that thought of, would someone love me? And without both breasts. And I knew I don't want to get reconstructive. I just don't. I don't like foreign things in my body.
Right.
That's me. And I didn't want to. And I knew, I felt like something would go wrong. I felt if something were to go wrong with the surgery, I didn't want to keep putting surgery on myself. Right. Because I wanted to minimize the downtime altogether, because I'm still thinking of my children. So that's why I said post-surgery I would reconstruct it. They were saying we could do it all at the same time, but if something goes wrong, I would have to come back. I just want it
You're like, no,
done.
I don't want to see y'all again.
Yeah, just done. And then even after they started having issues, in their attitude, I'm happy with the decision I made. Now, when I do meet or will meet someone, I still think I'm the person. It's not my body, but I don't think one that's breast defines who I am. I still can be sexy or sexual if I feel I want to do it. I'm a complete person, so I don't feel like my body is just the only part. It did bother me when I saw myself, because I felt it was unjust the way it happened. Because
I'm sure you're thinking about everything.
Yeah,
like, I ate good. Like, how did I get here?
And then at first, and then even when I was, so I really might not have ever had cancer, and then I still went through this.
Yeah.
But I still don't feel any less of a person. Up until I got my prosthesis, I was wrapping T-shirts together.
Okay.
And I didn't have
whatever
a job.
You could.
And of course, on my own research, and that October 2016, went to a function with Miss Anissa, talked to a lady next to the table next to me, because she had awesome insurance, awesome doctors, awesome social workers, and they helped her get everything. And she was just telling me who I could talk to and who I can call your Medicare, let them do it. Like, no, they're not going to do it. But because I reached out to the organization, they said, oh, we'll be happy to help you.
That's great.
You just schedule appointments so you can come down, and we'll be happy. And she helped me, and that boosted my confidence, because I felt, I know it's bulky with a T-shirt or trying to put a ball of socks, trying to make it match, because the hospital just gave me a little sponge and said, hey, here, and it wasn't even the same size to match.
So they don't even give out. They're free.
No. It was a little sponge.
You would think the hospital would just be like, here
they weren't even the same size to match. It was smaller. I still have it to this day, just to say I have it. Thank you for what you gave me. It was paid for, so whatever.
Yeah. Wow.
But I think my attitude is, hey, you only get one breast. If you're a man that like breasts, I only have one, so you need to make do with that or nothing. If that's your thing. But like I said, I feel like when they meet me, I'm the whole person. They would take me. Up until last year, because I still thought I was going to die, because you still can die from tuberculosis. You still can die from that. People die from that. And I still wanted to know, how would a man feel with sickness, because the first thing, I didn't want to meet a man when I was sick, because I think they can't handle people with colds. How can they handle a whole full cancer treatment? But I still want to meet someone, and I know that he'll be the person that I need, so that he can be the support that I need when I'm going through whatever I'm still going through, because to me, I still get bothered some days that, okay, I can't move as fast. I'm in pain. I got to stop. And I feel a lot of things I couldn't do with my kids after this. We went everywhere. We did everything. Like I say, when we went on the vacation, I was in the chair most of the time. I was on the sideline because I was too sick. But I was there, but before sickness, we did everything.
So you think that most of your, I guess, not issues, but like you were most affected by what you're now limited to, versus
in the fact that you were
versus like a physical thing. It was just more so like, dang, like I used to be able to go run 3 miles with my kids, or things like that.
Right.
So it's just more so the before and after of that.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, right. So,
and then try to share that with someone who wants to be intimate or potentially be intimate with you. So, but I'm very particular on who I'm intimate with anyway.
Right.
So it's, if you can't deal with my personality, then that's the biggest part of me. My personality.
That's who I am.
That's who I am. Yeah. The physical part is, I don't think it would be a problem.
Well, your hair grew back beautifully.
I'm about to say,
it's
beautiful
still
hair.
It took about a year, and I think it was on my birthday, I think November 2016, it started growing, and it's just still growing. It's still growing. And it won't hold a curl like I want. And like I said, this is slicked down with, what you call it? Edge control, but it fights everything. It's natural. It fights everything. So I'll roll it, put satin lotion, and wake up, and
like we ain't doing this.
So you do a selfie right when I take the roll. Do a selfie right then that I did. But I'm still, like I said, I'm happy it's growing back. It's still growing, and I'm thankful because for the longest I didn't think it was gonna come back. Yeah, right. And I was. I'm happy either way. Like I said, I'm still my person. I'm still who I am.
Yeah. You have a great personality.
You do.
Great outlook. All that you've gone through, you have a great outlook. And I think that's what has really helped you pull through it.
And I wanted to get to where I am today. It was hard, but I needed to get here first for my kids.
Right.
And then I understood, like I said, if I could help someone that's behind me.
That's right.
To say, hey, you can make it. Because it was a lot of days I didn't think I was making it. But my prayer, my faith, my belief in God, I reminded him of every scripture that I knew that was dealing with healing, that he had already fought and he already paid for. And also, like I said, my grandkids. They are my biggest motivation.
Right.
My kids, my children are so selfish and only think of themselves.
Right.
I may not, I know I'm going to have grandkids.
You sound like
now
my mom.
I said that. But I kept thinking of my grandkids. And they are,
they grandkids that aren't even here yet, but that's what was driving you was those
I'm the only person
grandkids.
thinking of them because my kids keep looking at me like, they looking at each other, so you don't have kids? My oldest son, he said he raised 3. My oldest son said he raised 3. That means his siblings. The 2 in the middle, they can't. And my youngest daughter is the baby, so that kind of.
So she's just like,
that's the story of my life.
Bring a dog from her.
Yeah, so I'm like, y'all gonna have me some grandbabies.
Somebody. I don't know which one.
Y'all can decide amongst yourselves.
Full names, full straws.
I'm gonna be here because I have to protect my grandbaby from you all. Because I know I've lived with you all, and I know how you are. But it was just interesting, to when you faced with the death. I have so much more living to do, and I wanted to do, and I was planning 20 years. Like I said, I was planning for my retirement 20 years from now. Even though now, I barely can work, but I was thinking I had 20 more years of working.
Yeah.
And now they want you 30 more years because now they pushing that back.
So be working till you're 80.
Right. So I was thinking my plans was way off and had no sickness was not
a part of that plan at all.
But I thank God for my faith. I thank God for his word because I'm here. I'm glad I lived through it. I got to this point. I'm a whole lot better than where I was. I can move a lot faster. I can do a lot more. And I'm learning what I can do that I didn't think I could do or would be able to do.
takes a long time for the body to heal. I know sometimes people say it's 3 years. It takes the body a long time to heal,
Because
especially
it was a
through
lot
some
of
major.
destruction.
Yes,
That
yes.
chemo is.
And you think about, like you think like
That's
literally
destruction by
getting
itself.
radiation.
Yeah, radiation.
Yeah.
It's destruction. I did radiation from February to April, so that's too much.
That's
just,
a lot of radiation.
and that's like heat just burning.
Yeah.
Right,
So my
right.
tissues had to re-heal. So. But I did it. Breaking up with your doctors is I don't want to say, you know, people. I knew that day for me when I broke up with them. I gave them the chance to do what they was gonna do, but I don't want to tell people too fast to break up. You have to be strong enough in your faith, and you have to have a plan B, and you have to, you know, be open to going back. Cause I tell Miss Anissa, I'll go, but I'm only gonna give them 3 more months, and she'll sit there and go with me, and they still.
She's like, she only coming here for
she already know. I'm like, she went to the doctor. We're like, well, we don't know what this is. Okay, well, I'm not finna be paying you to not know.
Well, I can't keep coming back till you figure it out. I'm gonna give you this one.
I paid you already, and you don't know. So I go figure it out myself, or just do my apple cider vinegar, or go to Whole Foods and get a
Grandma.
go to smoothie,
Give me some probiotics,
shot, anything. Do a smoothie or something. So
exactly.
that's just where I am. So. I'm still, like I say, focused on my little budget. I'm still trying to focus on my future.
Right.
I don't have any, like, I'm not big on the house. I'm heartbroken from the house. It's kind of, the house relationship was like a heartbreak for me. I know a lot of people, like, everyone, oh, I bought a house, you know, did a house, but for me, it was it's like my first real man, you know. I put everything into it. And I lost so much and didn't get that and lost my stuff. So I'm just trying to figure out, I know I want to have a home. I still want that for my kids.
Right. Exactly.
But I still have to get past myself to where I can say, okay, I want to make sure this time, because like I said, now I'm the worst person being with, because I have knowledge. So you can't just tell me anything, because now I know. It's a serious thing when you have knowledge and you don't have knowledge, and now I know for sure because I went through it. So I'm still trying to figure out where I'm gonna go. I'm figuring, my birthday's coming up in November again, and I do that every year. Okay, what am I going to do for the next year? I make plans. I do a budget for next year, and I also do plans on what I need to do. Still want to learn a language. I know a little bit of Spanish, but I'll figure out another language. I've already tried. I went to California a couple of months ago, and they traumatized me out there. They lied to me. California lied to me, because they put pictures of Los Angeles, and it's beautiful and palm trees, but
that's not
when you get out there.
The people that are on the pictures, I ain't seen none of them. I saw no celebrities. I didn't see anybody else. I saw the homeless people on the sidewalk. People, and mental illness is serious. Because
it's serious in California.
Trying to ask somebody for directions, and they got mental illness. I'm like, oh my God!
And we were trying to figure that out when we were there. I was like, was it that the drugs, you know, the heroin and stuff they did? You know, back up.
Because that is the start of crack cocaine, and it was
I was like, this has to do with that party scene of what drugs they were doing, because everybody is crazy.
They need to stop doing that. Their representative misrepresented, and I got out there, but I had the best fun because I'm never lost and I'm never alone. So I went and did everything I possibly could, and got on buses, because the bus let you ride for free, and I went here and went there, but I made it. But I didn't feel at home there, so I said, let me hurry up and get back
to the East Coast.
Because I literally finna see somebody get murdered on the sidewalk. That traumatized me enough to say, okay, you know what, I'm a little too far from home, because I said, well, so what they do with the body? Just leave it? Then what if they kill me?
Wow.
They might find you next week. I'm like, you know what? Y'all play too much.
And I'm going back to Georgia. And on that note,
I'm just going back. You know,
back to Georgia.
Yeah, I see y'all don't play around here. But it was a nice experience. Like I said, I'll get up and figure out where I want to go. Right. And I appreciate you, ladies. Thank y'all for letting me talk.
It's amazing. Just one last question.
Yes, go ahead, girl. Go ahead.
So I guess, what message would you like to provide women in the community?
The biggest message is take care of yourself. Listen to yourself. Your intuition is telling you the truth. If I could go back and advocate for myself, I would talk louder or more stern, or get up and walk away. There's no reason I shouldn't have had a third or fourth or second opinion. But
Right.
you know, if you eat healthy, have some kind of spirituality. I don't push religion on anybody, but yourself is a spirit. Feed your spirit with knowledge. Whatever it is that you need to know about yourself, Google it or get an encyclopedia or go to the library and find out about yourself and what it is to take to do for yourself. And if you know you need to go to the doctor, like I said, I'm gonna have to go back because I still have this in my body. But find out what your limits are and what you can do. The biggest thing is if you what you put in your body. I don't know what happened with me, but I put everything good in my body. And I'm just self-conscious about that because I wanted to be here for my grandkids subconsciously anyway. I started thinking I want to be here as long as I can. I want to do as much as I can. When I get married, I want to be an invalid. I want to be there. So just be true to yourself and figure out what it is for yourself. And if something is not right, you stand up for yourself.
Right.
You stand up for yourself. Don't expect no one else to do it. I don't care, family member or friend. You stand up for yourself and be convicted in your thoughts. Even if people are saying you're crazy because they wanted to commit me, but I didn't stay still long enough. And fortunately, it was circumstances that I couldn't stay still, but had I stayed still, they probably would have been able to commit me. But because I was homeless, they wouldn't help me with the homelessness. Because I didn't have a job, they wouldn't help me with a job. They didn't help me with my kids. But things happen. Find a spirituality and focus on that. Feed yourself. Meditate, whatever, eat healthy. I'm not there yet to where I can say do the mammogram and trust your doctor. I'm not there yet because it didn't work for me.
That wasn't your story.
Exactly.
But it wasn't my story. But whatever you need to do, there's so much information out here that you can find it. It's not hidden. It's just you don't have to trust one person, not one doctor, not one organization. It's a lot of organizations, and I went to a lot of events to try to meet with folks. Networking is the best. A lot of people, like I said, I got my prosthesis from someone at an event because I went to an event and she was volunteering, and so it was a volunteer that told me. It's the same situation.
Networking.
Just networking. Because when I started praying, and I do pray before I start my day, God got me where I need to go. And some person will come in my path, or I'll be in that path, and I'll probably, like I said, I wasn't expecting to go to that event. I was just going to serve because I said that was my first cancer event, and I wanted to work the table. And that's what I did, and just standing there. So be open to learning and try to find yourself. And
thank you so much.
Thank you.
This was amazing.
This was really amazing.
Thank you.
You are just amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm happy to be here where I am today. I'm so happy to be here. I worked hard to get here.
Yes,
Exactly. Celebrate that every day.
Yes.
I hope it helps 1,000 people. I don't want to help just that one. I want to help millions of people. I want people to know you can do it. I did it. We made it. And, I didn't have support. I just had my kids. And like I said, I was just determined. And I hope that, people, like I said, I'm my own support group. I talk to, I'm with me 24/7. So what I say
I always
myself,
got somebody to talk to.
I got somebody to talk to, but I have to make sure I pull it together. When I don't feel like I want to do it, okay, you gotta go. You gotta do it. You can't just not.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. As usual, like, share, subscribe. We appreciate all of our followers. If you have haven't already, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and our YouTube channel. I hope you guys learned a thing or two and enjoyed the story that was shared with us today, because we learned so much that we did not know. And visit Sherry's Finishing Touch. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you. Thank you, Robin, for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
All right, and cut. Beautiful, guys.